Rihanna was just attacked, but this goes much deeper than just a crazy fan. We've been noticing more and more lately that Rihanna has been involved in some way with both Diddy and the Epstein files. This is a very deep story, and I'm going to take you through all elements of it so that we can have a bird's eye view and determine for ourselves what's actually going on here. Why was Rihanna attacked, and how deeply is she involved with both Epstein and the darker side of Hollywood?
On March 8th, 2026, a 35-year-old woman named Ivana Lizette Ortiz drove from Orlando, Florida, all the way to Beverly Hills. She pulled up to Rihanna's front gate and fired more than 10 shots with an AR-15 style rifle.
Wow.
The bullets hit the front gate, the house, and the silver Airstream trailer parked in the driveway. Here's the part that made everyone stop. Rihanna and A$AP Rocky were inside that trailer at the exact moment the shots were fired. Not in the main house, in the trailer, right there. Also in the home, there are 3 kids, Rihanna's mother, and 2 staff members. 8 people total were at risk.
Along here, new tonight, a woman is in custody after firing multiple shots at the California home of pop star Rihanna while she was inside. Lori Perez reports from the Beverly Crest neighborhood of Los Angeles.
We are down the street from Rihanna's house here in Beverly Crest, just north of Beverly Hills. You can see an officer stationed here, yellow tape closing the street off to through traffic. LAPD tells us they arrested a person earlier today for firing multiple shots at the house. This happened just after 1 today Pacific time. We can see multiple bullet holes in the fence outside the home. The LA Times is reporting the pop star was inside at the time. It is unclear if her partner, the rapper A$AP Rocky, or their 3 children were also there.
After shooting, Ortiz drove away calmly. She was caught about 30 minutes later at a shopping center 7 miles away.
Wow, at a shop. It's funny that she didn't just continuously try and get back to Florida, but instead she went to a shopping center. Strange.
And when police searched her car, they found the AR-15, 7 spent shell casings, a blonde wig, and a 30-round magazine in the trunk. The DA came out and said it clearly. This was willful, deliberate, and premeditated.
Police tracked the car to a Sherman Oaks shopping center where they found the rifle and 7 shell casings, and now Ortiz is being held on a massive $10.2 million bail. At this time, reports indicate Rihanna is safe, and it's unclear if A$AP Rocky or their 3 children were home.
The Epstein files, what you need to know.
And this is where that connection begins. This is where the story deepens.
Now, here's the other piece of context you need before we get into this. On January 30th, 2026, the Department of Justice also released over 3.5 million pages of documents connected to Jeffrey Epstein. Videos, images, FBI files, all of it. Buried inside those files is an unverified FBI tip from 2019 that names Jay-Z. To be clear, he has not been charged with anything. The mention comes from an anonymous tip on a public hotline describing an alleged incident from 1996. But here's what matters. His name is in the files. And on March 3rd, just 5 days before the shooting, Congresswoman Nancy Mace confirmed that Jay-Z is among the people the government is actively reviewing. Why does that matter? Because Jay-Z is the man who discovered Rihanna. He's been connected to her career since she was a teenager. And if you understand that, the rest of this story starts to make a lot more sense.
Wow, and we were just talking yesterday about how Hollywood with Usher, with Justin Bieber, took advantage of young children in Hollywood, and Rihanna being brought into that same Hollywood machine at such a young age leads you to believe that she was potentially dealing with a lot of the same issues as those other young stars, especially because we're talking about Jay-Z, who had very close affiliations with not only Epstein, but also with Diddy.
The woman who drove 2,500 miles. So let's talk about Ivana Ortiz, because at first, everyone assumed she was just a fan who lost her mind. And honestly, the videos on her social media didn't help that theory. She had been posting about Rihanna for months before the shooting. In one video, she says Rihanna's been harassing her. She talks about God's judgment coming for her. She calls her ugly, and she just keeps going. Video after video after video. Now, here's where it gets complicated, because yes, her social media looks like a person going through something very serious mentally. But the way she carried out this attack doesn't match someone who just snapped. She planned this. She drove over 2,500 miles from Florida to California. She came with a blonde wig to change her appearance. She came with extra ammunition. She had paper license plates on the car to avoid being tracked. This wasn't a breakdown. This was organized.
And I wonder, if she did all of this to not be tracked, why would she then just go to a shopping center? Unless if she was trying to ditch the car in the shopping center and then make her way out in a different way. I guess we'll get into all that.
And then, like we talked about, the judge sets the highest bail in LA County history, $10.2 million. But 1 week later, cuts it by 5 times with zero explanation.
Strange.
No new evidence, no change in charges, just reduced. So who benefits from her getting out faster? That's the question nobody's been asking loud enough.
Clues now in the assault rifle attack on Rihanna's mansion. As we're learning more about the woman police say opened fire on the Grammy winner's home. Eyewitness News reporter Liz Nagy live outside the Beverly Glen home with new revelations tonight. Liz.
Mark, tonight investigators are looking into new videos posted online long before they say Ivana Ortiz showed up here outside Rihanna's home.
Rihanna, when you die, God is taking me to my future. You want to kill me. Shut the up.
Investigators are now looking at this rambling talk-to-camera video posted on January 4th and many others like it on Ortiz's social media profiles.
The Live Nation connection. Okay, so this next part, I need you to really pay attention here because this detail got buried under all the other coverage. 4 months before the shooting, in October 2025, Ivana Ortiz filed a lawsuit against Live Nation. She was trying to block a Billie Eilish concert in Orlando. She claimed it would cause her immediate harm. She asked the court to stop it. The court dismissed the case. The concert happened, and that was supposed to be the end of it. But here's what makes that detail interesting. Live Nation is the same company that promotes Rihanna's tours through Rock Nation, Jay-Z's company. The same Live Nation that the Department of Justice is currently suing for illegally controlling the concert industry. Cat Williams has been talking about this pattern for years. He says the music industry has a way of using people who look unstable, people who have a public history of erratic behavior, because when something happens, it's very easy to point at them and say, see, crazy person, case closed.
Yeah, and that's exactly what we see Hollywood and anyone relating to Epstein do. When someone does speak out, they flip that crazy card, and then we as a society all just believe what media has to say and look at them as if they're nuts and discredit anything that they've said.
He calls them patsies, and Kat says Ortiz fits that profile almost perfectly. She has the social media history. She has the mental health questions. She can be quickly identified, quickly arrested, and the story gets wrapped up before anyone asks bigger questions.
Listen, Rihanna, when you die, God is taking me to my future.
10 felony counts of assault with a semi-automatic firearm.
She only did her little music thing so that she could do witchcraft.
The 3 a.m. contract and the 29th floor.
Witchcraft. So this woman is taking this to a spiritual level and to a level of witchcraft, which is, I don't know.
Now we need to go back, way back, 2005. Rihanna is 16 years old, and she's just been brought over to New York to audition for Def Jam Records.
Wow.
Jay-Z is the president of Def Jam at the time. She walks in, she sings, and he's impressed. So far, so normal, right? But then Rihanna goes on the Tyra Banks show and tells the story herself. She says Jay-Z looked at her and told her, and I'm paraphrasing here, there are 2 ways to leave this office, either through the door with a deal or through this window, and we're on the 29th floor. The audience gasped, Tyra gasped, and Rihanna, she laughed nervously. Because what else do you do when a powerful man says something like that to you?
Wow, that's like a threatening way of saying you are signing with us here today. Now, of course, she went there wanting to sign with the record label, and maybe that was said in a joking fashion, but that is just not a way to conduct business in any industry.
And I don't know about you, but that line does not land the same way in 2026 as it did in 2005.
Agreed.
Jay-Z later confirmed the story in a 2005 MTV interview. He said they signed her that night, that they didn't let her leave the office, that the contract got signed at 3 a.m.
Diva Rihanna. And when she walked into our office, I was like, you know, she just had, it was just something about her. It was just, she had this, you know, it was just something about it. Then she performed the song, and I was like, okay, okay. Then, you know, we sat down and we talked, and they was talking about how she would stay in the studio and try to get the verse over, and then come back the next day. I was like, oh, work ethic, everything is there. So we signed it that night. We didn't let her leave the office.
Really?
The 3 in the morning was when that contract got signed. So from the meeting around 3, 4 in the afternoon, we signed it by 3 in the morning.
Wow.
That day I was absolutely certain.
Oh yes, he said, we don't sing songs here, we sing artists. And there was this little pause, and I was nervous. But then he said, and we're interested. And there was this sudden feel of relief. But then he said something about a window and a door or something. Oh, then he said, you did your homework. I did a lot of homework on you, this lady. He said, there are 2 ways to leave here, either through the door with the deal signed, or through this window, and we're on the 29th floor.
In 2005, that story was sold as hustle, as determination, Jay-Z being so excited about Rihanna's talent that he had to lock in the deal that night. In 2026, with Jay-Z's name in the Epstein files and the entire entertainment industry under a federal microscope, that same story hits very differently.
And we're hearing that a lot with a lot of different stories lately, how when they happened 20 years ago and we heard about it, it just kind of was like a whatever. But now when we know all of the dark things that happened, both with Diddy, with the Epstein files, and everyone involved, including Jay-Z, as you said, it's hitting differently.
Here's the thing about Rihanna that people aren't saying enough. She has been inside this industry for 20 years. She's been to the parties. She's been on the private jets. She's been in the rooms. She knows who knows who. She knows what went on and who was around when it went on. And right now, with Diddy sitting in prison waiting for trial, with Weinstein already convicted, and with investigators going through the Epstein files looking for anyone who can testify, Rihanna's name keeps coming up as someone who could be a material witness.
And it's worth noting that even if nothing happened to her, which I would find very hard to believe, 20 years in this industry, completely surrounded by the evil people who are now being exposed, there is no question that she has seen firsthand this stuff happening.
On March 3rd, 2026, Congresswoman Nancy Mace confirmed that Jay-Z is among the people the government is reviewing in connection with the Epstein investigation. That's 5 days before someone showed up at Rihanna's house with an AR-15. Cat Williams has been pretty direct about how this works. He says the industry doesn't need to kill you. They just need to scare you enough that you stay quiet. They show you, we know where you live, we know where your kids sleep, and we can reach you anytime we want. And then, the very next day after the shooting, March 9th, Rihanna packs up her family, drives to Van Nuys Airport, and gets on a private jet, destination unknown. She's gone, and she has not come back. Her team hasn't made a single statement. She has gone completely dark. Now think about that. If this was just a crazy fan, you don't run. You hire more security guards. You put up better cameras. You stay in your home, and you protect your space. You only run when you realize the person holding the gun is just the beginning of something much bigger.
That is an excellent point, especially because this person is now behind bars, awaiting trial, clearly going to prison for some amount of time. Why run? Unless if you think more strikes are coming. And where would you think those strikes are coming from? And everything surrounding Jay-Z right now, I think we could assume where things may be coming from.
50 Cent's silence speaks volumes. Now let's talk about 50 Cent, because the man has not posted a single thing about this. And if you know 50, you know that's unusual. This is a man who has been publicly backing Rihanna for 15 years straight. When Chris Brown attacked her in 2009, 50 Cent spoke out immediately. When A$AP Rocky went to trial in February 2025, facing 24 years in prison, 50 was posting his support the whole time. When Rocky got acquitted, 50 celebrated publicly. But March 8th, 2026, 10 bullets at Rihanna's home, and 50 Cent says absolutely nothing public. Now, according to an insider, 50 did reach out privately. He reportedly called A$AP Rocky after the shooting to offer support, and he allegedly told Rocky, take Rihanna and the babies to Barbados, because whoever sent that shooter will send someone else. 50 Cent has watched what happened to the people who spoke out publicly. Cat Williams got mocked and dismissed for years. Corey Feldman was laughed off when he tried to talk about Hollywood abuse. Rose McGowan lost her career. Kanye West ended up hospitalized. So 50 made a choice. He's not going to expose the network by naming names on Instagram. Instead, he's producing documentaries about Diddy, about the music industry, about how power operates, and letting viewers connect the dots themselves. And honestly, that might be the smartest move in the room right now.
And he's doing that move because he's scared of things happening to him. So he's addressing it. He's trying to put light on the situation in the safest ways that he can possibly do, while still trying to expose the evil wrongdoing. And I think one of the strongest things that was said right there by 50 was that more people will be sent. That the shooter was not just someone that was an angry fan, but it was someone that was probably hired by a much bigger entity to go take out Rihanna, or to at least scare her.
Now, before we wrap this up, there are two other theories people have been talking about, and you deserve to hear them. The first one is A$AP Rocky's former crew member, A$AP Relly. These two had a falling out that ended up in a criminal trial. Relly accused A$AP of shooting him twice. ASAP was looking at 24 years in prison. He was acquitted in February 2025, but Relly is still out there, still angry, and people have been pointing at him as a possible connection to the shooting. The second theory, and this is the one that's gotten the most traction online, is Roc Nation. Social media has been flooded with posts claiming that Rihanna has quietly been cooperating with federal investigators, that she's been talking about what she knows regarding Jay-Z's dealings and the network she's been around for 20 years. Nobody has confirmed this. It is speculation, but if there's any truth to it, it explains a lot about why someone would want to send her a message right now, at this exact moment in time.
Shooting at Rihanna's LA home was premeditated, prosecutors say. What we know about the suspect and case that a Florida woman is facing one count of attempted murder and other charges in connection to the shooting at the Diamonds singer's home.
So I think it's very clear that this instance was not just an upset fan, that this is something that is being done by a much higher power, whether that be from the evil side of Hollywood or from something relating to Epstein himself.